Welcome to a special series on Viper Bites here. We are going to talk about Dynasty mustaches. Get it? Right here. I know I'm clever. I'm humorous. Yeah, we're just going to go right into this because we're going to talk about in this series some players low-key that you need to stash on your Dynasty rosters. We know that you want Jamar Chase. So you know you want Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Rashad Bateman. I get it. These are all players that you know that you want. Everyone knows you want. So we're going to go a little bit deeper in this, see if we can uncover some gems that maybe no one's talking about right now, but next year and beyond could become household names, starting with Brampton, Ontario's very own. Yes, we're starting with a Canadian to kick off this series. Josh Palmer of the Los Angeles Chargers. 6'2", 210 pounds, 22 years old. He is likely the heir apparent to Mike Williams in this Chargers offense. Look, coming out of college, coming out of the University of Tennessee, 79-inch wingspan, 34-inch vertical. He was a three-star recruit, and he probably dropped in many drafts coming into this year due to the fact that the quarterback play in Tennessee was not good. It certainly wasn't Justin Herbert good, which we'll talk about that effect a little bit later. Now, maybe his biggest knock from a lot of the scouts out there was he had that minimal burst, that minimal quickness. You know what? It's been good enough so far, especially his last few weeks. Now, listen to this scouting report right now. I'm going to drop it right here, and you tell me who this sounds like. Nice sized wideout with reliable hands, sells routes, knows where he is on the field, and uses the sideline well. Tracks the pass in the air and extends his hands, snatching the ball away from his frame. Displays solid hand-eye coordination, plays with excellent control. Sound familiar? It should. That's basically Mike Williams to a T. Now, we have to assume here in this video that Mike Williams, he's going to be out due to the contract situation. His fifth-year option was exercised by the Chargers coming into the season. He is going to command a healthy raise heading into the 2022 season. We've watched what Josh Palmer can do. He's able to play inside. He's able to play outside. He's had success filling that Keenan Allen type role. And we know he is good enough to do what Mike Williams does. Now, there are some other Chargers wide receivers here. Jalen Guyton, KJ Hill, Joe Reed. Not to mention, they could also add in the draft. So I think Mike Williams, his days are numbered in Los Angeles, at least as far as the Chargers are concerned. Who knows what the Rams are going to do? They throw money around and draft picks towards everyone. But look, we talked about that connection with Justin Herbert. Marrying a young wide receiver to a young quarterback is gold in the fantasy circles. Now, while we haven't quite concluded the 2021 season, we do have a small 15-game sample that saw Palmer haul in 26 of his 35 targets this year for 292 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not that impressive, but when you look at weeks 14 to 16, Palmer has got 11 of those receptions in that time, 14 of those targets over that period, 124 yards over the 3-game threshold, and 2 of his 3 touchdowns have come in those weeks. Now, when we compare these to the games in which Mike Williams has been available also, now he missed week 16 due to the COVID protocols there, but you know what? 2 games, 9 receptions, 110 yards, very similar production out of Mike Williams as what we've seen out of Joshua Palmer. Now, look, Palmer is set to be with Justin Herbert until the conclusion of the 2024 season, okay? And I've said often that your availability is your best ability, and you know what? While Mike Williams, he's been inconsistent in his time there, he hasn't always been available. Now, I think that's what gives Palmer an inside edge on a lot of these wide receivers right now is you know he's durable. He's going to be there. And I think this is going to make the decision for the Chargers a lot easier. Not only is the money going to play in a factor, but the fact that Williams has been inconsistent over his tenure there with the Chargers, and he hasn't always been available. It's going to make it a lot easier for the Chargers to walk away and let another team take on that contract that Mike Williams, he does deserve. Now, Herbert is the QB1 right now through 16 weeks. And while we know Austin Eckler is going to get his and Keenan Allen is going to get his, we know that Justin Herbert can spread that ball around. He's proven this when Herbert's been out. When Keenan Allen's been out, when Mike Williams has been out, when Austin Eckler's been out, he has had success with Josh Palmer, with Jalen Guyton, with these low-end receivers that nobody wants to talk to. We know Justin Herbert can find success with these guys no matter what. And when you look at these the rookie wide receivers in particular in this class and what they've done, Palmer, he's got the 8th most fantasy points among these rookie wide receivers. Yes, he's trailing the Jamar Chases, Jalen Waddles, Devonta Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Elijah and Rondale Moore, and he's just behind Rashad Bateman. Yes, Bateman has missed some time here, but you know what? Palmer hasn't been a focal point in this offense up until the last couple of weeks due to injuries and stuff like that. I think when we look at 2022 and how he replaces Mike Williams moving forward, in my opinion, I think we could be potentially seeing a mid-range wide receiver 3 to low-end wide receiver 3 for fantasy purposes, just based on what Justin Herbert is able to do with the targets that are allowed to him by management and whatnot. So for me, I like Joshua Palmer moving forward. Plus, he's a good old Canadian boy, just like I am. So I'm going to have a little bit of extra love for him. But I'm telling you right now, he is probably on your waivers, or you could probably add him cheap. You could probably get him for less than what someone drafted for last year. So go out there, kick some tires, add Joshua Palmer to your fantasy squads, because you know what? This is Dynasty football, and there is no offseason. Stay tuned for plenty more players such as Joshua Palmer coming in Dynasty stashes, and we'll see you next time.